Okay, so as we were discussing what? Transportation, P-O-R-T-A, transportation in plants, isn't it? We were discussing about transportation in plants. Okay, so in transportation plants, as that of animals, okay, animals have different system, circulatory system or excretory system for transportation of different things. Okay, for transportation of blood, for transportation of waste material, that means removal of waste material. Similarly we have a system in plant for transportation in plants, and that system is called vascular system. Got it? That system is called vascular system, and this vascular system mostly composed of a what is it composed of? It composed of xylem and phloem. That means it is a pipe-like vessel. Vascular system is a pipe-like vessel which transport the nutrients and the food material within the body. Okay, within the body. So we have two types of cells or two type of vessels: xylem vessel and phloem vessel. In xylem vessel, what happens? The minerals and nutrients and water is transported from roots to leaves of plant for what? For preparation of food. Got it? For the preparation of food, minerals, nutrients and water is required, and that is taken from the soil through the roots and finally transported to the leaves. Okay, by the process of, by which vessel? By xylem vessel. And after the food is prepared, through phloem vessel, what happens? The food is transported from leaves to different parts of the plant. Okay, so we can say it has two pipes. A pipe-like structure, vessel, xylem and phloem. Okay, so let's talk about transport of water and minerals in plant. That means, first of all, we will talk about xylem vessel. Which is responsible for transportation of minerals and water in the plant. Okay, transport of minerals and water. Transport of water and minerals. Okay, so as we all know, the vessel associated with this is which vessel? Good. Which vessel? Always remember, xylem vessel is associated for the transport of waters and minerals. So water is absorbed from the soil by the roots, hairs. So water is absorbed from soils. Okay, so if this is a soil, Okay, if this is a soil and we have a plant here, we have a plant here. Okay, any kind of plant. So through the roots, what happens? Water is absorbed as water is present in soil. Water is present in soil. So through roots, water is absorbed by the plants. Okay, through root hairs. The root hairs are in close contact with water surrounding the soil particles. That means they are embedded deep in the soil. Okay, the roots are embedded deep in the soil. Water moves from root hairs to the root tissue and then to xylem in the roots. That means from root to root tissue, there is a tissue. Okay, it is transported through capillary action. Okay, and this xylem vessel, okay, a pipe-like structure transport the water and minerals in the leaves, okay, transported in the leaves. Okay, so the absorbed water then moves up the stem through the xylem. That means the xylem and phloem are present in which part? Stem. Okay, it is present in stem of a plant. Always remember. Okay, it is present in the stem of a plant. Okay, so minerals are taken up by the plants from the root as solution in water through root hairs. Okay, through root hairs, root cortex, epidermis, and reach the root xylem. Okay, that means the cortex and the epidermis. Epidermis means upper layer of the stem. Okay, upper layer of the stem. So we can simply say that the minerals and water, okay, as we know, water constitute everything. In water everything is mixed. Okay, the minerals are mixed, the nutrients are mixed, and through water only the minerals are transported by the xylem. Okay, in the leaves. It is a simple process, only we are explaining it. So then the water containing minerals enters the interconnected xylem into the stem and finally to the leaf. That means they are interconnected. It's not simple. They are all interconnected so that water doesn't go to other places. Okay, it's directly move upwards. Okay, it directly move upwards. So we can say that minerals and water, what happens? What happens to minerals and water? They are transported from the soil through the roots, which is connected to the epidermis, cortex in the xylem vessel, which is present in the stem of the plant, and finally it reaches the leaves. Okay, for preparation of food. Okay, because for preparation of food, what does the plant require? Okay, what does the plant require? It requires carbon dioxide. Okay, it requires what? Water. That means H2O, carbon dioxide plus H2O in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is also needed. That's why in some plants where there is no chlorophyll, they can't prepare their own food. Example, cactus. No, cactus will. Pitcher plant is also green, but that is another thing. Mushroom. Example, mushroom. Mushroom is not green. It doesn't contain chlorophyll. Okay, so they can't prepare their own food. So they get the food from dead and decaying organism from the soil only. Dead and decaying organism from the soil only. Got it? Okay, so in the presence of carbon dioxide and water, this water contains what? This water which plant use, this contain minerals also. This contains minerals also. And finally, glucose is produced along with oxygen. Glucose is produced along with oxygen, and this glucose is used by plants. And oxygen, what? Okay, oxygen is released. Oxygen is released from the plant. Okay, so this was all about transportation of water and minerals. Okay, which mostly constitute what? Xylem waste. Now let's talk about how translocation of food takes place. That means how food is transported from leaves to what? Different parts of the plant. That means translocation of food. Translocation of food. That means transportation of food. And in this, which vessel is associated? Phloem vessel is associated. That means phloem vessel has important role to play. Okay, so translocation is the transport of food from leaves to other part of the plant. That means it is a transport of food from leaves to the different parts of plant. Different parts of plant. Got it? Different parts of plants or plants. Okay, so translocation means transport of food from leaves to the different parts of the plant after the food is prepared. Okay, so the carbohydrates synthesized in the leaves, okay, in leaves, and hormones synthesized at the shoot and the root tip are transported to other parts of the plant through phloem. Okay, that means, as I told, glucose, it is carbohydrates. So when food prepares its plant, CO2 plus H2O, which gives glucose or carbohydrates, energy, and oxygen, and this oxygen is released. And now what happens after the food is prepared? The carbohydrates synthesized in the leaves and hormones in shoot. Okay, these carbohydrates and hormones in shoot means the stem part. What happened? These carbohydrates and hormones, they get mixed, because hormone is important for growth. Okay, hormone is important for growth. We also synthesize hormones. Okay, from pituitary gland and other glands. Okay, so carbohydrates and hormones. Carbohydrates synthesized in leaves and hormones synthesized from shoot part. That means from the stem part. And the root tips are transported to other parts through what? Not xylem. Through phloem vessels. Okay, got it? Okay, so food molecules enter the phloem cells from mesophyll cells of the leaves. Okay, after entering phloem, the food molecules may move upwards or downwards in the plant. That means from the phloem cell, it enters the different parts of the plant. That means the food that is prepared, it moves to the mesophyll cell. Okay, and the food that we eat, where does it get mixed? In humans, in stomach. After that, The food is transported by what? Small intestine. After it is digested, who transport? Small intestine doesn't move here and there. You don't know? Huh? In blood. Okay. Okay, the food that is prepared in human beings, that means in animals, they get mixed after it is digested from the small intestine in the blood, and through blood it moves throughout our body. In the same way, from the mesophyll cell, okay, from the mesophyll cell of the leaves, the food is transported through a phloem vessel, okay, through a phloem vessels to the different parts of the plant, okay, and it moves in all direction. It moves in all direction. That means it moves upwards also, it moves downwards also. Okay, got it? So this was all about transportation in plants. Okay, that means translocation of food.